Hello and welcome to Comic Drake, where I talk about comic books and my name is Drake. Perhaps the biggest mystery from CW's The Flash is the secret identity of the Reverse Flash. To better understand where the show's story might go, let's take a look at the history of the first villain in the comics to use this name. Born in the 25th century with a futuristic name to boot, Eobard Thawne was absolutely obsessed with the Flash's legacy. Seeking to study the Speed Force at the Flash Museum, young Thawne was rejected due to his poor test scores. Eobard instead conducted his own independent research, but not before having his endeavors brought to a screeching halt by his brother Robin, a member of the Science Police, which is apparently a thing in the future. But this series of events doesn't last for long, as a future version of Thawne, the aforementioned Reverse Flash, goes back in time to ensure that there never was a Robin, and that Thawne grew up as an only child. And as for any obstacle his younger self might encounter, the Reverse Flash was always there to reverse it back in his favor. This is the key to the Reverse Flash: time travel. This is even hinted at in the TV show. With all of his time-traveling hijinks setting up his path to success, Eobard became a highly respected professor at the Flash Museum, and with his massive knowledge of the Speed Force, Eobard's colleagues nicknamed him Professor Zoom. By now it's obvious that Thawne is insane. So insane that he underwent plastic surgery to look like Barry Allen, stole his cosmic treadmill, and duplicated the experiment which initially gave the Flash his powers. Eobard is the ultimate cosplayer. Thawne traveled back in time only to discover that he was destined to become the Flash's arch-nemesis, which absolutely broke the time-displaced Thawne's mind and led him to fulfill his destiny of becoming the first Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom. Ultimately, Thawne met his end at the hands of none other than Barry Allen himself, but came back to life during the Blackest Night event. What set the Flash apart from most other superheroes is that he grew up with both of his parents alive and with no real darkness in his life. No exploding Krypton, no crime alley, no test pilot father. The Flash lived a perfect life and never really had a desire to change it. So to get back at him, Thawne went back in time and killed Barry Allen's mother. Barry's father was actually framed for the murder and sentenced to a life in prison because of this. After realizing that Thawne essentially stole his childhood, a Flash wrecked with pain and guilt attempted to go back in time and save his mother from the Reverse Flash's wrath, and completely changed the world into the world of Flashpoint. Then Barry went ahead and undid everything, creating the New 52, because comics. We haven't seen Eobard Thawne since the launch of the New 52, but there currently is a Reverse Flash. However, that's a completely different character that we might discuss sometime down the road in the future. Now, outside of the comics, Eobard Thawne has appeared in Batman the Brave and the Bold, the animated movie adaptation of Flashpoint, DC Universe Online, Lego Batman 3, and as a Black Lantern skin for the Flash in Injustice Gods Among Us. He also plays a central role in CW's The Flash, and his identity is still up in the air, but this Reverse Flash could potentially be Eobard Thawne, but he could end up being any of the other Reverse Flashes from the comics. We'll find out those soon enough. Professor Zoom is an interesting villain, albeit confusing and convoluted, but if you want to know more about his character, I recommend reading The Flash Rebirth, Flashpoint Reverse Flash, and The Road to Flashpoint while you're at it. Be sure to follow me on every social media, but if you want to know more about comics, I recommend watching my explanation of every Lantern Corps or the latest episode of Who Is, where I talk about Agent Phil Coulson.